No. How do I hop around between the slides?
Let me see if I can give you control. Okay, so Dan, I just gave you control, so you should be able to maybe click or hit the arrow.
I see down here, right?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you everyone for joining us for Protect Yourself Online with Dan. So this is going to be pretty interactive. Dan and I are going to be kind of presenting together, and then if you have any questions, you can put those in the chat and we can unmute you once we get to like a good pausing point. We can unmute you to ask your questions. Just a little bit about ElderWorks. We help with senior living coordination, advocacy, and education. So we help seniors stay home well, or if you're looking to move into senior living, we can assist with that process as well. So we'll go ahead and get started. Dan is here. He's from PCServ Consulting. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started.
Good afternoon, everyone. Got to back up on the screen a little bit so everybody can see me. I am, let's see, I've been in the business since about 1984, so I know about everything about computers. No, I don't know everything, you know what I mean? But I know a lot. So the only thing that I really know is how to do computers. So I got out of school, got my first job as a COBOL programmer, started building local area networks, and here I am today. So I own my own business. I maintain small businesses in the area with my focus is primarily on security. And that's why we're having this thing today. I met with a nice woman named Katie who works for ElderWorks, who introduced me to Emily. Emily said, hey, we got no tech. I said, well, wow, why don't we do something? So here we are doing something. All right, so the first slide is by me. We're going to protect ourselves online. We're going to focus on something real specific today, because I don't want to scare people off with a picture that I just found today about how many different ways there are for you to get scammed and ripped off. We're just going to concentrate on one area. That's primarily going to be email and your telephone today. That seemed to be the #1 response from the survey that was taken earlier, I guess last month. Okay, so next screen. Spoofing. I'm sure you heard of spoofing, and there's probably a couple other different names that you've heard out there, and we'll go through them as we hear them, or if you ask about it, then we'll give you an answer for it. However, spoofing is going to look like a piece of email that comes from somebody you know, your bank, the United States government saying that you got a tax refund, or you got a long lost relative that needs money, something like that. So it's going to look very familiar to you. What they're really trying to do is get your personal information, as much personal information about you as possible. I was reading earlier today, your social security number costs $1 on the dark web. $1. You get $100 if they can get your driver's license and a picture of you off of Facebook. That's how cheap you are out there to sell. So part of this is to inform you how not to get scammed and how not to get your information stolen from you on the internet. Okay. So how can you tell? Like I said, double check in the top of the email address. Now, I don't know if I can flick to one of the messages that come from somebody, but like here, this one's good from your billing address over at wherever this is, PayPal. Yeah, so you can obviously tell this crazy address here at the end is not good. The service number, usually it's a person who you pay, and then you will never ever want to click on this PDF unless you have some kind of antivirus software, but I wouldn't even click on it because I don't even recognize who it came from. So I'm not really interested in what's behind there, because unless you know that you got something coming and that's not an authorized Amazon email address, don't open it at all. Just ignore it. Don't be tempted, because that's what they want you to do. They want you to be tempted to open that, and then that can open up all kinds of other doors to access your information. So that's one way of spoofing you to get your stuff away from you. Okay, so double check your email. It's not going to match. I don't have an example of somebody who looks like it came from my wife or something like that. I kind of put this together a little bit too quickly, but I wanted to get this out to everybody because right now seems to be a good time. I was just reading here in the latest ARP bulletin. I don't know if you guys get the ARP, but I do. And it says all about the bad guys, who they are and how to stop them. And there's two things I'm going to share with you towards the end about that. But let's talk about phishing, smishing. Smishing is a new concept they've come up with because they're done trying to attack you by email. Some of us has become a lot smarter about not clicking on stuff or accepting emails from other people we don't know. But in this case, they're attacking your telephone. Because now even though you have you called your, do not call list, that doesn't mean that they can't SMS you and tempt you with things like, click here, especially right now with like DraftKings or something like that. Click here, we'll give you 100 free coins to go start betting. Well, don't do that. Okay, don't ever click on any of those things, especially if you do end up doing that. Don't enter any of your credit card information and personal information, anything about you. The more information that you put out on the internet, the easier it is to find out about you. It's actually very simple. Just type your name into Google and see what comes up. You'd be curious to find out about yourself and what everybody else knows about you. Okay. Again, they're trying to get your personal information. They want you to act fast. Like I got hit the other day. I do a little bit of crypto, as I guess somebody would, but anyhow, the guy told me, go ahead and send me, X amount of dollars to this account, and I'm going to show you how to quadruple it. Well, that was similar to something I saw on the television. Yeah, he can quadruple it, but it costs you 4% to take the money out. But that's up front. So if you got $1 million, how are you going to come up with 4% to take your $1 million out that you just got sitting in cryptocurrency? You can't. So that's a big scam that they're doing right now. Anybody who ever calls you on the phone, tells you that you owe money of any kind, or asks you to pay in cryptocurrency, refuse. They are fraud. They're not for real. Okay. Anybody impersonating themselves as being with the IRS, they're not going to call you. They're going to send you a letter, just like the old-fashioned days. Send you a letter in the mail. They don't call you on the phone. Okay, so let's get past this. Oh yeah, another big thing to notice: if you're not a big speller, you may want to check your spell check. A lot of times in these emails, they'll have broken English. That's because these are templates that are made in foreign countries by foreigners. And frankly, they don't grasp the English language the way we do. Sometimes they use context that's the wrong context, is what I'm trying to say. So even if it's misspelled, it may look like it's coming from England. It's not. It's just being sent from either Costa Rica, some boiler rooms that they create out there. Just like it used to be telemarketing, calling you on the telephone to sell you some kind of bridge or real estate, trying to impress upon you that if you act right now, you'll be in on it before everybody else. Well, now they just do it through your telephone because you do everything with your phone. You pay your bank, you text your friends, you have a Facebook account, your face is out there, you share your memories, thoughts, everything else. So that's another way of checking to make sure then that you're not going to get scammed with your emails. Again, never click. Oh, this is really most important. Sometimes you'll get stuff in the mail, and I don't know if I got one out there, but I know I got a paid Verizon bill. We're going to check at the end. It says that you got a statement from your bank or Ameriprise Financial. Mine is anyway. They sent me a document that needs to be electronically signed. Never ever click on the links that they send you inside of those emails. Always go directly to the website, because that way you know it's secure. How do you know it's secure? It's got a little lock in the very top of the left-hand corner. And I believe we have an example of that to show a little bit. So again, make sure that you never ever go from a link inside your email or your phone to the website itself. Just go directly to the website. Now, you may say, well, look, Dan, My daughter, 16 years old, she's got an account. What does she do? She doesn't go to the bank. She doesn't have a checkbook. She has everything electronically done through her phone. So she's got an app for that. I've got iffy feelings about that. Iffy feelings. My iffy feelings are this, being a security engineer. Yeah, the banks, they pretty well should have a very secure app that hooks you up to the bank, but that you're dependent on the bank and that application in order to be safe. So I rarely do banking on my phone, rarely. I may talk to my Facebook friends, things like that, but rarely do banking. Banking is everything online or it's directly in person. I still like the old school way of doing things. So get to our next slide. Okay, oh, these are fun. Okay, now we're getting to what halfway point? Not even. Wow, I'm only 13 minutes into this. Any questions so far? Or have I lost most of my people and they've left? They had to go to the bathroom. That's okay, I get it. I go to the bathroom often. Okay, so does anybody see anything wrong with this one? Hey, raise your hand if you do. Raise your hand if you're still breathing. All right, perfect. That's wonderful. I kind of like that. Edward, you can unmute yourself. Do you see anything wrong with this?
I don't like the spelling of thank and hanked.com track.
That's
I don't know.
yeah, you would think it'd be from somebody a little bit more like UPS related rather than thank and hacked.
Right.
Very good. Good eye. So yeah, I would not click on this, especially if you're not expecting a UPS delivery. Now, I don't know if anybody out there has signed up for, automatic notification of deliveries and things like that to your house of UPS. I mean, I kind of like to know who shows up at my front door and drops off a package. Sometimes I don't find my package for 2-3 days because it's sitting out in the bushes, getting wet. So I kind of like to know when they're showing up. So I get these deliveries, but again, you got to know, pay attention to what it actually says. Let's see, this one. This is a good one. I personally got this one the other day because I got my first 2 shots. I never did go for my 3rd shot. Did anybody else out there go for a 3rd shot yet? 4th shot? There we go. Good for you. They're saying you're supposed to go for your 4th shot. So I don't know. Ask your doctor. Yep, there she is. Patrick's got one. So, okay, anybody out there who's still alive and breathing, pick up what's wrong with this one if there is anything wrong. You think this is a good one? It told me I need to go back and get my 3rd shot. You can unmute yourself. Go ahead, speak up.
The thing that I don't like about it is that it starts with IDPH, Illinois Department of Public Health, but then in the website address, it just says dph.illinois.gov. It's missing the I.
That's right. So I personally didn't click on it, but more than likely it's clickbait. It'll take you to someplace else. Clickbait, it's a nifty way of making money. You throw out these things, you click on it, it takes you to a website. As soon as you go to that website, the guy that redirected you earns a couple of bucks. It's a quick way to make money.
Okay.
It's
I didn't know that.
advertising.
Clickbait,
Yeah.
it's called? Okay.
That's clickbait, yeah.
Okay.
So it may take you to a place, that's gonna sell you something else. Usually is what it does. So that's all clickbait. And those guys get
Okay.
paid for it.
So when it takes you somewhere else, that's a scam too, the whatever, everything's a scam.
Well, definitely.
Definitely, clickbait. Okay, I've heard the term, but I didn't know that's what exactly it was. The reason I thought it might work because sorry, but I deal with this with my sister all the time. She's getting dementia, and man, she'd be clicking on things right and left. If
Right, yeah.
they don't read it, they don't believe it. They trust everybody. So anyway,
Sure.
that's my comment.
No, and there's a lot of people that do, a lot of I mean, I'm getting bombarded constantly for a guy named Beto from Texas. He wants money from me. I live in Illinois. Why should I give him money? But anyway, that's them. This is us, So am I going to click on that particular link? I have, and guess what they want? Money.
Right.
So, and again, it may be a legitimate website, it may not, but ultimately what they want is your information, your money, your credit card, something. That's why I said, don't give it up. Don't give it up at all. Here's another cool one. This one actually showed up to Emily. Emily has Netflix. Don't you, Emily?
Yeah, so this one looks legitimate. They have the logo, they have everything there. They did send it to an email that I don't have my Netflix account with, which is a red flag right there. And then also this misspelling of hi customer with an O. That's definitely an indication that's spam. And then also the email address, if you hover over the email address, you'll see that it's lots of letters and they'll try and hide it. Like it'll say Netflix, but you have to really go and hover over it and see that it's just a bunch of letters.
Gobbledygook, yeah. So that's why it says there's show less on this slide, because Emily had already clicked on Netflix to see where it's coming from. And that gobbledygook you see there, that's where it came from. So we don't know where that came from. That came from some email server someplace in some foreign country. Seriously, run by a bunch of 16, 17-year-olds that are getting paid just to sit there and have a headset on, hit a button on their computer, and it does telephone calls 24/7, nonstop, as long as you're sitting there, over and over and over and over again. And they do the same ploy, the same ploy, the same ploy. Retirement community, hey, you got to act now. Usually what they'll do is they'll make you run to the store, give them a gift card number. Don't do that. If anybody ever asks you, like, I don't know, does anybody have two-factor authentication set up? Do you know what that is? Okay, good. Don't give that code out to anybody, ever. That code is yours and yours alone. If you got somebody calling you up on the phone, offering you a good deal, and they're trying to set you up with something, they're ripping you off. Okay, so I can see I got about 15 minutes here. There's something
Dan, can you explain the two-factor system?
Two-factor authentication?
Yeah.
A lot of times you go to your bank and it'll say, Dan, do you want two-factor authentication? Now, I can't show you my phone because it's not tethered to my computer. But there's an authenticator app, and I use Google, and there's also Microsoft, and there's a couple others. You can use it that way, but instead of getting complicated, what'll happen is you go to your bank and it'll say enable two-factor authentication. What that does is kind of like you have to have additional passwords to get into your account. It's not just enough to have a password and a login ID any longer. Now you have to provide an additional measure of authentication. And what they'll do to you is they'll say, please enter your email address and we'll send you a code, which you enter on the website to gain access, or they'll send you a text message to your phone. And again, which you should never share with anybody. Just put it in the website and gain access to your bank account or whatever it is you're trying to manage with your two-factor authentication. You should do this to your telephone. You should do this to everything. It's very similar to, well, here, I'll just give you a brief news brief. A woman was convicted of murdering her husband because she found him cheating on her by looking at his telephone, which had fingerprint authentication, face authentication, and a password. Well, she knew the password. She knew how to get his fingerprint, his face. She got it while he was sleeping. Okay, so she got busted. Funny little story you can tell your grandchildren. So, okay, moving on. This is something I got. Ignore these. You didn't win anything. Okay, you didn't win anything. Honest, you didn't win a thing. Okay, see here it says unsubscribe here, unsubscribe here. If you do that, then they know that you have a live eDRAS. And they'll continue to bomb you with additional stuff. So don't unsubscribe yourself. Don't bother. Just put them in the junk mail automatically. Okay, let's move on. Oh, this is me. Okay, I got this. Would this scare you or what? Does this look like a legitimate one? No, everyone says no. Patrice, you're pretty sharp on this. What do
Well,
you think?
I've gone through this all year. I got a question. Could we back up a second
Yeah,
though?
Yeah,
The no prize win something thing. What I went through my sister's emails, she gets like hundreds, I mean, tons. So I check them every day. And what I started to do was unsubscribe to just all this junk mail that she's getting. And then it would show up in the corner, whether it was a legitimate site, non-secure, or the lock was there, I don't necessarily know that non-secure means it's not secure, but it could be. But I thought it was a good idea to unsubscribe to all those junk mail things. No? You're saying no? It doesn't matter?
you're just good. If you do it, you'll just get sold on a list. Your list is already out there. You're just going to get added to another list. So instead of wasting your time doing that,
Oh,
just
okay, so
shove it
that,
in
so,
junk mail. I mean, me, I
Okay.
got probably 3,000 pieces of mail sitting out there, and most of it's junk anyway.
so unsubscribing is not a good idea.
Not really.
Then
Don't
you
waste
keep
your
getting
time
the
doing
stuff.
it,
You still
you know.
keep getting the stuff.
Because like this one I know is not a legitimate website, so I'm not going to give them my information at all. If it comes from like an attorney or something, or somebody you've been doing business with, or maybe you bought pens for your business in the past and you don't want to hear from this guy again, then go ahead and hit unsubscribe,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
More
no, that
that
kind
than
of
any-
thing.
I would never
my
give them
line of work,
information.
I give
Yeah,
out my
okay.
business card whenever I go to these conventions, and then I get all these guys are calling me or sending me texts and emails, and it's like, no, take me off your list, thanks. I don't want to know about it anymore.
Right,
I
right. That's
attended
what
your
I'm talking
booth.
about.
That doesn't mean I need to be married to you.
Yes.
You got it.
Due to another site. Okay. All right.
All right. So anyway, this one, by the way, the Verizon thing really was real, because I had to go ahead and add some data to my account so I could finish watching a movie for 15 bucks, the boost, instead of changing, because I've got a 2-year plan that I only pay like 50 bucks on. So I'm not going to let them screw me for $88 a month. You know how they are. Always read the fine print. Okay, here's another one. You want a vacuum for $2. You really think you want a vacuum for $2? No, you didn't. So ignore that. No, this is a lot of fun. Okay. I don't know who this guy is. Dan XF at blah blah AOL. No clue. Okay, but I think I sent this one to you, right, Emily?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I've never had an AOL account in my life. So, yeah, I just never did. Never wanted one. But back then it was all modem based. You know what I mean? I had to wait for the dial-up modem, so I had no need for it. I was already installing those things. I didn't want to communicate with my friends that way. So anyway, you'll get this. Now, a lot of times when you buy a brand new computer, this stuff already shows up and it's on it. Okay. And then you got a 30-day free trial of it. And then you're supposed to go ahead and resubmit. Well, you don't have to, you know what I mean? They throw that stuff on there as bloatware anyway. Bloatware is something where they overload your system with a lot of junk. You'd be best off taking all that junk off of there and just leaving whatever you need for your system to work. So like this is junk. But what they end up doing is they tell you this and they make you believe you have a subscription that's expired and that you've already paid for this. Well, they don't. They want you to go ahead and sign up and get your protection now. Now, this could be from them. This could be from somebody else. I don't like where it came from. McAfee, and then we got what? Some kind of dude at gmail.com. Yeah, so that's not going to work for me. So again, don't click on this kind of thing, even though you're thinking to yourself, wow, maybe do I have current virus protection? But you can always click in the bottom right-hand corner and check to see if it's current or not. If you need something and you're desperate, I would say AVG. That's Apple Victory Georgia. The only difference between that product and the full product is the full product scans by itself. The manual product, you have to initiate a drive scan by yourself once a week. Big deal. Okay. Otherwise, it does take care of all the active stuff that's happening back and forth on your websites, everywhere. So it's a good product. It works very well.
Could you repeat the product name, please?
AVG, Apple Vinegar Georgia. I don't know
What is AVG again?
It's an antivirus program that protects you.
Oh, okay.
Pretty decent.
Okay.
For nothing. It's a pretty decent product. It's not bad.
Okay. Um, I guess-
And it's free? Is
Yeah,
it
it's free. If you pay for it, then it'll scan by itself. Otherwise, you got to remember to put on your calendar, scan my C drive once a week.
I just
yeah.
put that in the chat as well, if you want to.
Yeah, put that in there.
Yep.
Can I ask you a question though?
Shoot.
And my sister gets all these Norton ones. Okay.
Yeah.
And back in Florida last year, I put Norton on her. I wanted to protect her, everything.
Uh-huh.
And so it was actually due up again. I think, I want to say a year, it was February. She keeps getting notices and I don't know if it's Norton or not. And so I guess I'd have to call maybe. I don't know. That's my only concern because I can't, I don't even, the lock thing and all that. I just, yeah, I'm not sure what to
She
do.
would have an account with the Norton suite. You probably bought her the Norton suite, which does all kinds of.
It was that LifeLock one.
Oh, okay. So it secures her identity and everything else. Yeah, you
Yeah.
should be able to just log into the account itself and renew it online.
Okay, that's a good idea. And I don't know if she still has it. I think she does, because then we still keep getting notices and I think they're fake. I don't know.
Oh, they're probably real ones, but
They are?
ignore
Okay.
them. But if you want to renew it, go through the product itself.
Okay, so they would be sending me stuff because
It'll be
McPhee
like
always
under
sends her
help.
stuff too.
Once you're inside of the thing, it'll say it's expired or whatever, and say click here. Trust me, they have those buttons all over the inside of those programs.
Yeah, that's probably
Click
the
here to
best
do an
advice. Yeah.
upgrade, and then be
Okay.
careful what you're upgrading to, because you may be upgrading yourself beyond what you really need.
I know. That's
Okay,
the other
so-
thing. Some of that stuff gets confusing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
thanks.
You would think
Dan,
we
we
can maybe
have-
bring that up.
We have a question from Sandy asking how many antivirus programs a person can have on their computer.
Good question. That is an excellent question. You can run multiple antivirus programs at the same time on your computer. The problem is this: these are two separate vendors, okay, and they're not Microsoft guys. So they basically have to write programs that work with Microsoft. Now, sometimes these antivirus programs step on each other's toes because they want to use the same thing to get into the Microsoft program so that it works properly. So I've run into that where I've actually had to remove one antivirus software to make another one work properly. Okay, so the answer is yes, you can run multiple ones. My question to you would be, why do you want to run multiple ones? Is one doing a better job than the other? Is one perhaps doing something else that the other one is not doing for you? In that case, again, I would say, and this is in all cases, the more vendors you have involved, the more moving pieces you have in place. Back in the days, they used to make things really, really simple. You threw wood into this oven and you threw a match in there and it lit on fire. Well, now my grill has this electric start on there. You know what I mean? There's no firewood, there's no matches. You just press that button, bang, it turns on. Well, that's the kind of thing that's going on, So we're trying to automate things. I do want to show you this one real quick. My daughter got ripped off. She's a server over at one of the restaurants here in the neighborhood, a Pancake House. And she specifically got this Michael Kors Jet Set Travel large chain shoulder tote bundled with Michael Kors Jet Set Travel trifold stolen from her. Those were her actual items. Okay, now, this appeared in my email 2 days later. I can tell you why it showed up. Okay, no, and I didn't get ripped off. I don't have Zelle Pay. My kid does. She didn't get ripped off either. The point is this: her debit card was in there. I am a joint owner on the account. They figured out through all this stuff that we've been looking at. Like I said, the internet is full of your stuff. They figured out who I was, what my email address was, and then they sent me this thing that said they got sold on, I don't know, eBay or whatever, to somebody in Georgia. So that's how fast that happened. That happened in 2 days that she got her debit card ripped off, even though she turned it off instantly with her app on the telephone. So that's how fast your stuff is out there. And even me, I'm being a security professional, I try and protect myself as much as possible. But Google made it this way. Now, that's something else I want to share. I don't use something called Google. Okay, I use DuckDuckGo. Perhaps you've heard of it. They advertise it on television. What kind of dog is that? I don't care. What kind of family outing are you having? I don't care. You know, that kind of thing. It truly does erase all your tracks from what you're searching for. It's nobody else's business what you want to look for. Okay. And the worst part is you get bombarded with advertisements. I went and bought something for Pandora for Memorial's Day. Guess what I'm getting? Thousands of Pandora advertisements now. You know, so they sell your names. What's this one say?
So yeah, this was an invoice I got to my email, my work email here at Elderworks. So they have Dear Elderworks. It's not even addressed to me. There isn't even an accounts at Elderworks address. I'm not sure where they got that. I didn't click on the invoice. I don't know what this is for. It's kind of an odd name I've never heard of, a foreign country. So I get quite a few of these types of emails.
Yeah. And the email itself, it says it's got an HTML extension and it's got a picture of Google Chrome there next to it. You know, that just means that it will open up into your browser. Now, again, if you've got like Edge or if you've got something like Chrome even, you should have your security settings set on very, very high. And if you guys want a demonstration on how to do one or the other one of those, put it in the chat box. Maybe we'll talk about it next time on how we can go and set up our web browsers so that they're more secure for us. All right, we can check out passwords and things like that if you guys are interested. If otherwise, we can talk about something else. But you have to give me topics that you want to talk about. We started with this one because this is a popular thing that's going on now, and this is how people are getting ripped off the most, especially older people. And I don't like that. You know, my mom's old; she gets ripped off all the time. So here's this one. Yeah, you're all paid. Cool.
And I don't know who these people are. I don't know what Voyager is, so I just deleted it right away. So
Well, that they printed the date, and you know, nobody prints the date that way in this country. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So it's just weird, you know. It's like, you know, and then they want you to, of course, you know, click on this invoice. You can take a look at it, and who knows what it does for you. It takes you to a web page, you know. Usually they'll take you because it's an HTML page, so it's easy to redirect. Okay, so we've got.
Why did you say that you don't use Google at all?
Because they trace you constantly. So if I'm doing a search for Google, let's say I'm searching on, I don't know, let's say hurricanes in Kansas. It'll go ahead and start giving me advertisements to go on vacation in Kansas. Okay. So if you start looking for something in a certain place, or if you start looking for, let's say I want to go on vacation someplace, you'll start getting bombarded with advertisements from other people because they know you want to go on vacation. How do they know that? It's because of those cookies that show up at the bottom. Do you ever see those things that pop up and say cookies now? When you're on a website, it says you got to say okay to the button. Okay. If you ever click on the thing that says cookies, you can actually go in there and turn off all those items. Those are all tracking cookies. You know, like I said, if we want to have a talk about how to set up your web browser, you know, let me know and we can set up one for next month. I don't know if Emily's up for that, but you know, that's another topic of great concern that I think that helps a lot of people, because you can block websites, you can block junk from showing up, you know, we're getting redirected from one place to another. You know, make sure that things are more secure for you while you're web browsing. You know,
So Dan, I get a quick question. Maybe you already answered it. I don't know about with this DuckDuckGo, but so you don't search through Google, you search through something else. What is it you search through?
you can use Firefox. Firefox is pretty safe.
Okay, that would be because I use Google all the time to search. Yeah, I mean, it's just easiest. Okay. All right. So I have Firefox too. Okay. All right.
Dan, we have a couple of questions in the chat.
I'm answering the one about the VPN now.
Okay.
VPNs are going to be the norm, people. Why? Because right now, what's hot is everybody wants to work from home. Okay. Nobody wants to go to the office anymore because they figured out for a year that they don't have to. So again, I'm a security guy. So what I do is I protect the small businesses themselves. Well, what my company, I work for, I partner with a company that sells this product called Fortinet. Okay. And it's a security appliance that you install. It's the first basic piece of equipment you have to put into a company in order for it to communicate with everything else and make it all work. But in any case, most businesses just use that. So and they're expensive because they're priced for business. You know what I'm saying? They're not priced for the home user. Now, what they've done, maybe you've heard of it, there's a product called Linksys. Well, Linksys has partnered with FortiGate to go ahead and create these work from home atmospheres that are very secure. So from here on out, VPNs will be the norm. Okay. So if you're watching pirate TV, you better be using a VPN. Okay, serious, just like that. They're going to catch you. Why? I don't know why we have this one. Why did we put this one up, Emily?
This was just a continuation of the last email.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to pay.
Can you explain what a VPN does for people that are not familiar?
Absolutely. VPN stands for a virtual private network. Okay, so what that'll do for you is it encrypts a tunnel between you and the office so that your connection between you and the office is a secure connection. So nobody can hack into your tunnel. It's your tunnel and your tunnel alone. Okay. Right now I build those. I'm curious to see what Linksys is going to offer. I wonder if it's going to be a direct router to router, because right now how we do it is we load a client on the workstation and the client knows the address to the particular router. Then there's an authentication procedure that goes through, and then you're able to access the all the stuff on the internet. It's as if you were in the office with your computer. Okay. Now, sometimes that raises a problem if you're going to try and run QuickBooks on your laptop from the office. That doesn't work because it's a very large database that actually has to come across the internet. So there's different solutions for that. But to answer your first question, VPN is a private tunnel that I would use at every single public place you go to. Okay, so if you're at the airport and you got a hotspot that's free, enable your VPN, use their hotspot for free. VPNs are cheap. Okay, they're about $100 a year. So any VPN will do, as long as it's a VPN. What else can we do on this call? I wanted to, let's see if I can't. Can we switch screens, Emily?
Yeah, you can stop sharing.
Okay, so now I'm back to me. Now, if I want to show a picture on my video,
Should be able to hit share screen.
so I don't want to rename myself. I apologize. I do not know this program. Select the window or application you want to share. I see. How about my desktop? And this should be the PowerPoint presentation. Oh, it is. Oh, good. You guys, oh, crap. Screen sharing instead of screen shared windows closed. Why did I do that? I did that this way. Yes, we'll go here. Share this. Okay, what did I do? I just posted something scary out on my PCServ website for everybody to see. Oh, yeah, that was my background, guys. Game of Thrones.
We're still in your email though. We can't.
Are you
see.
still looking at my email?
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
So you may want to stop share, and then once you are where you want to be, you can share again.
How do I do that? Oh, stop share. Okay. Then get to where I want to be.
Mhm.
Okay, so you guys don't have to read my personal. it's not on this picture. It ended up in my Facebook profile. Okay, I want you guys to see this. That sharing button again. Okay, so here I am right now attempting to get to my Facebook page. Okay, so this is an example of two-factor authentication right here, right now. Okay, now I don't have a code generator. I do have a code generator for it, and you guys can't see it, but I'm using just some authenticator app that I found on Google. And then you can go through there. They have a QR code you scan, and then all of a sudden it'll give you a code. So mine is going to be, my daughter's texting me, pardon me. So this one, and like I said, never share your code with anybody. 27. Never share your code with anybody. I'm kidding. All right. Uh-oh. No, time's out. You got to be pretty quick about it. Save browser. Okay. Now, since I'm using DuckDuckGo, it doesn't matter if I say save browser or not, because it's not going to remember it, because that's what DuckDuckGo is. It doesn't remember anything.
What
I got a
does,
bunch of pages. That's me, by the way, there with the guy face. That's my winter face. And
could you
then my
repeat what
summer.
you said? What is DuckDuckGo again for?
DuckDuckGo is a private way of getting to other websites so that they don't track your information like Google does. I thought this was a cool picture to end on this. So do you see all the different ways of cyber attack that there are? See, everybody else split, and that's too bad. You guys that stayed until the end got a cool picture here. Okay. This cool picture is all the different ways they can get you. So, I mean, your takeaway from all of this should be, don't give up any information, ever. Not to your brother, your sister, somebody impersonating to be somebody. Oh, here's a couple of tips I got from the AARP magazine in April. Set up your digital accounts to require multi-factor authentication. Okay. Freeze the credit at your major credit bureaus. Okay. Do the same for your dependence credits. That helps a scammer with your information from making any transactions or opening up any new cards or anything like that. Do not save your credit card numbers online. I know it's tempting because you want to go ahead and pay this bill quickly, but don't do that. Okay. Activate biometric locks. Everybody's got a pretty new phone nowadays. If you do have one of those applications that access your bank, I've got it set up so that I have to put my finger on there. Okay. With my password and everything else, my finger still has to go on there for me to gain access to that app. So if you have the option for biometrics, do that. The other one is here, use antivirus. I think I mentioned, you know, AVG. The other good guys, I mean, they're going to sell you the stuff that's on the shelf. Keep in mind, the stuff that's on the shelf, unless it's got artificial intelligence built into it, it's not going to work because it's still based on old signature files that it knows about. If it doesn't know, like it's like the dictionary. If it's not in the dictionary, it's not going to know about it until it's in the dictionary. Those are old ways of doing things. Artificial intelligence doesn't depend on that anymore. What it does is it monitors all the processes within the workstation itself. So if it's not behaving properly, or it does something quirky, it stops it on the spot. And that's part of other security solutions that I do for my clients, so that their workstation stops in its tracks and goes pretty much dead and doesn't infect anybody else. But we can recover that workstation in about 2 minutes without the infection. Cool stuff. Lastly, but not leastly, your phone number, okay? It says here to remove it from as many of your online accounts as possible, okay? But if you need them, then go ahead and remove them later. The only reason I could think of this is if they were to obtain some information about you, again, we're going to go back to that SMS text messaging. They're going to hit you up with these links for SMS text. And then you're going to go click on them and you're going to end up in someplace in this circle over here. Did you guys like today? Was it good? Was it informative? Did you learn anything new? Speak.
Yeah, it was good. I like this last comment. Remove your phone numbers on all accounts because they end up texting you and I don't know. Yeah, so I'm gonna take that one. The other thing is with banks, they want you, we got scammed in January in Florida and our bank wanted us to get the app and I don't like having the app, but it has my picture, you know what I mean? It's a face recognition. It's a 2-step authorization code. So I feel protected. So
Unless you're dead. Like I told you earlier, they took a picture of that guy. His wife took a picture of him. That's how they got into, she got into his phone.
yeah,
Serious. She took his fingerprint. She knew the password. And then all she needed was his face and he was sleeping. So apparently the thing cannot recognize whether you got your eyes open or not. I would
Well,
test that.
well, the other thing is just to share with you, and I won't take up any more time, but my sister who has the dementia that I'm always, following up with, I can get into her iPhone because we look alike.
No kidding. That's great. That's funny.
I mean, they don't recognize me or her together. So luckily it's just me and she can trust me, but you never know.
Does it work the other way around?
I never asked her. I should ask her tomorrow if she can get
See
into
if it
my
works the other
phone.
way around.
Yeah. So the other interesting thing, that 2-step authorization, there is a bank and she has this bank and it's a big bank. They don't have the 2-step authorization.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I told everybody, you got to have 2-step authorization no matter what you do. Your
Absolutely.
Google email, your Comcast email, it's just such a layer of protection. I can't even emphasize how important that is.
I wish everybody else stayed on to hear you say that. Coming from me is one thing. Coming from somebody else who's been maybe hurt by being stolen from, I mean, like I said, my kid just got her, I don't know, it was $50 in the purse, but I mean, look how fast that information traveled on the internet.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing that the bankers shared with me, the ones that don't have the 2-step authorization, don't have a debit card. You won't get your money back. You won't get your money back. So I froze my debit card. My husband still uses it because he likes to get cash. What other things? There was one other thing, but if I think of it, I'll let you know.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Dan, we still have a few more slides I can share.
Sure, do that. Let's do that. Oh, Siri. Yeah. For those Apple lovers. Hello, this is Kate. Again, another reward, they're just trying to get more information. You put your email, you put your address in there, sometimes they'll ask you for a credit card because you're going to pay the freight for it, but you're going to get this wonderful prize. Again, if it sounds too good to be true, it is. The old adage still stands. The ripoffs are still the same. They're the same ripoffs that you grew up with, except now they're just technological ripoffs because we had that information and we gave that to them. I can't stress the importance of if there was a way to be a fake person out there, that'd be great. And I'm going to go off on tangent. When this metaverse thing, it's going to be a bunch of avatars. So you and me can be in the same room and things like that. Now that does give a certain sort of anonymity, you know what I mean, to other normal people. But if it was a hacker walking up to you in this metaverse and wants to have conversation with you and convinces you to give them money, that's another way of getting ripped off. It's just another way of stealing. It doesn't matter whether it's the phone, whether it's your regular landline. regular stealing of your wallet. It's all the same thing. Except now it's so much easier to hack everybody. That picture I showed you earlier, there's a million ways to do it, and there's going to be a million more ways to do it. So we need to, that's this one. Oh, this is a great one. You're getting too many spam messages. Peopleconceit.com. I think some of the names are just to laugh for. So, I wouldn't go there. Besides, if I was getting too many spam messages, why would they tell me? Yeah, I think we talked most of these things. Oh, something else they told me. Something you can set up on your phone. Something you set up on your phone is that your recent contacts are the ones that ring. Okay. And then set up all the other phone numbers that you don't have in your phone book, set them not to ring. And they'll automatically go to your voicemail. That way you don't have to look to them. And then that way you don't have to answer likely scams or not. Unless they're your person and you know that it's coming from them, don't answer the phone at all and set up your phone so that it'll go ahead and do that. I read that now again in the AARP mag. So
Yeah, and then
sometimes I have to.
the iPhone, you can set it up to ring differently depending on who it is. So like
Right.
if it's your sister, your mom, your brother, whoever, you can set it up for a specific ringtone. So then when you hear that, it's a family member.
Yeah, as opposed to like turning off all of your family.
So question then, how do you do it on the iPhone? Where do you go?
So you would go under the contact themselves,
Okay.
and then there's an option to change the ringtone, the
Okay,
ringer.
what about the other one, setting it up to go directly to voicemail?
That one, I'd have to look at the exact verbiage. of
Okay,
the
I can fool around with it. That's good advice. I didn't know that one. Verizon has a couple extra layers too now. And you can pay for it, or there's a free one, and I don't remember the name of it, but you just have to call Verizon about
I got a
scamming
Verizon.
and potential. Yeah.
I got caller name ID, and if it doesn't come up, it says potential spam all by itself.
Yeah, but there's like a new they have another program. It's in my office, but about there's two different things. One you can buy and one you just set up, and I set it up with them the other day. It still does potential spam and stuff. That's automatic, but it's like an extra layer they have.
Okay. The more layers, I mean, if you were to ask an engineer, what do we do next? They'll tell you another layer of security. They'll all tell you the same thing. More security.
Yeah.
The more security you put on, the better.
Definitely.
What I build now, what are called zero trust networks. So you walk into your office, I walk into the same office. I have a phone. My phone automatically connects wirelessly to your network, whether it be a guest network or whether it be your personal network. Well, that's a problem. I might be a hacker, and that's where we say zero trust. Nothing is trusted until you trust it. So that, again, that kind of applies the same way to everything that you're doing with your phones and your websites and your emails. Trust nothing. Assume everybody is out to get you and then work from there. It's unfortunate that we have to do it that way, but yeah, I mean, you don't know if you're talking to a 16-year-old kid that's, going to buy a new Ferrari, and here you are trying to pay the bills. It's true. Here, scam likely from Evanston. I don't know. I call these people back sometimes just to find out, if it's, legit, and it's a dead end. So, this is one of mine. LA Film. I wish they would call me and put me in the films, but I highly doubt it.
I think you do great. I think you do great as an actor.
You're an actor?
I said, I think you do great as an actor. You have entertained us and
Oh,
scared us.
thank you. I appreciate that. Well, let somebody know. That'd be good. What else we got for us? Let's see.
Dan, we got a question. Somebody's been forwarding their spam text to AT&T 7726. Is that a waste of her time to do that?
Yeah, you're exercising your thumbs. They should do their job, gang. Don't do that. You
Yeah.
know, go. I mean, if you're gonna exercise your thumbs, play Candy Crush. But I don't know.
And then
I-
Patrice, Terry was nice enough to put some directions for how to silence calls from unknown contacts. If you want to look in the chat, you just go to settings, phone, and then
Wait, all right, so what did you say that again?
it's in the chat box. Are you able to open that up?
Oh, yeah, hold
Okay.
on. Sorry, I got all your pictures here. I gotta get rid of you. Hold on. Wait, I lost the chat box for some reason. View options, hold on.
Okay.
I don't know how to move this over. Let me see. Shoot. I don't know how
So
to
it's
get-
in, I can just read it off to you. It's in.
Hold on, I
settings.
know, I'll get to it. I don't know why
Okay.
this moved over here and here it is. Okay, here it is, chat. Got it. Okay.
Emily, could
Open
you read it out
settings.
loud?
Somebody
Yes,
got an
so-
Android they need help with?
So this is for iPhone. You go to
Phone.
settings and then click phone,
Then silence.
silence unknown callers.
I
and
love it. Thank you.
You can switch that on and off.
What
I am
about for
gonna
an
do that.
Android? Is it the same thing?
Yeah, the Android, you go into your phone, and then those three buttons at the top right. At the very bottom, it says call settings. And in there, you'll see call blocking and ignore messages. Answer and end calls, a couple of good things. I mean, if you want to have fun with the scammers, you can answer the phone and give them something else, you know, like, thank you for calling.
Tap edit in the top right-hand corner of the screen.
Yes.
All right, that's the other one. Choose one of the sounds you, okay. That's interesting. I like that one too.
Yeah,
Tap
thank you,
edit in the-
Terry. That's helpful.
I like that one too. Tap.
You're welcome.
You know, and I've got a ton of blocked numbers that automatically get blocked.
top Right corner of screen.
The question related to the,
Tap ringtone.
Yes.
I
Choose
had
a
a
sound.
Sorry, I had a question related to, the
Yep,
security
done.
of my credit cards and all that stuff. I've given my credit
Done.
cards to the pharmacy
Yeah.
and some of the organizations, some of the stores. So you say saying that it's not safe to have, to give it because sometimes. they
No,
do-
I have mine with them. I
Sorry,
have my credit cards are on file with my pharmacy. I do have some credit cards on file, like with permanent payments, like for my iPass, things like that, recurring payments. So I do have those credit cards up there. However, how do I monitor those credit cards? I monitor through my three reports: Experian, the TransUnion, and that third one. So I go through and I monitor my credit reports, and you can turn on the monitoring credit functions once you're inside. Don't forget, you're allowed one free one a year. So there's 3 of them. So set up your calendar so that every 4 months you get a different one. So the first time you get an Experian, 4 months later, you get a TransUnion. 4 months later, you get the
Equifax, I think.
Equifax, right? And then 4 months later, you're back to your TransUnion. So you keep getting a free one every 4 months. Okay, and you look at that. You can put credit blocks on them. Again, we had mentioned putting a credit freeze on your credit accounts. Vasim, what that means is if you put a freeze on your credit card, your existing credit cards will still function. What happens is any new charges that are not authorized by you or any new credit cards that are going to be opened in your name will be denied.
okay.
That's what that means when you put a credit freeze on your accounts. But I would strongly monitor the credit unions. A lot of times you'll end up with a credit breach. Okay, I know my wife has, and I personally have. We've been involved in a security breach. One was Equifax, as a matter of fact. And what they offer is they offer free monitoring for a certain period of time. Take advantage of that free monitoring. What that does is it goes ahead and notifies you every single time something changes. If you paid a balance down, it notifies you your credit has been increased or your credit has been decreased. That way you are aware constantly of what's going on with your finances. I'd rather receive some information that, like right now, I've got it set up so if I got a low balance, I know about it. You know, I don't want to get an overdraft. So again, but if I get a notice, I either know that I'm going to go under, or I know I get to online and do some changes, or physically take a check from one place to another. So again, I monitor my credit reports. That's how I do that.
Thank you.
Surely. What you guys got for me?
Did we talk about terms and conditions at all?
Whose terms, whose conditions?
This company is asking that. Did we discuss?
About terms and conditions?
Yeah,
Whose terms and conditions?
just like when you're signing up for a website and they have
Oh,
to read the fine print.
okay.
Nobody reads it.
You know what the nobody reads part reads? Has anybody ever read it? Yes, I have. Okay. They all read about the same thing. You are, they are responsible for nothing. You cannot harm them. Everything's in arbitrary court. You allow them to use your name, likeness, and anything else as they please. Basically, if you don't agree, you can't use their website. Now, again, at the very bottom of all of that agreement, they have an option sometimes for you to go ahead, or they will say to you at the very bottom, you must click this, yes, but then you're allowed to go back in and change and modify those settings once you're inside of it. So let's say we just signed up for a new bank and we had to agree to all these terms and blah blahs because they have to, you know, these are legal documents that they have to have in place because they're dealing with your money online. So they make you agree to these things. You know, a lot of them are for your benefit, truly. But, you know, a lot of times they want to sell your information as well, which I don't believe in. So once you get into your account, go look for the account, it'll say account or information about you, and then look for the settings as to how they share your information. Specifically, it'll say, how do we share your information? And then in there, you go and modify and change how they share your information. Again, I turn everything off. I don't want you to share any of my information. They're making money off of it. They're already making enough money off of me. They're raising the interest rate on every single one of my credit cards. They don't need to make any more money off of me. All they're doing is the same thing, but they're doing it legally that the scammers are doing. That's it. They're just doing it legally because they made you sign that form. There you go.
Can I share one other thing with you guys?
Yes, please.
If you have Verizon and I have an iPhone, and you might already have this and you might know about it, but there were 2 programs that they have for extra security. And I called them, you know, they have a number you call 611, and there's one called Filter, and there's one called Filter Plus. It's like $2.99 a month, and they explain to you what each version is, just for extra security if you need it.
It does your mail. It's for your mail.
Huh?
So that it's for your mail and stuff like that.
No, it's for your phone.
Mine. What do I got going on it? I have something from them. Because every now and then it'll pop up and it'll say you're clear and you don't have anything, but it could be with my plan as well. Because it'll scan my phone for me and it'll tell me I don't have any bugs. Add on an apps. Oh, now it wants me to sign in. Oh, here, sign in. I got my fingerprint. No, I'm on an iPhone, so I mean, Android. Mine's different. Oh yeah, here it is. Share name ID is free. Call filter. What is that? Take control of your calls. Gives you the tool to manage those calls you choose. So that's a call filter, folks. Yeah,
I just put it up there. I put it in the box in case they want it, somebody wants to see it.
yeah, check it out. You know, then they got the premium visual voicemail, HD voice. They got all the goodies there. So that might be of interest to somebody. Oh, yeah. How many people do you enter your credit card directly into the website for payment or something? Do you buy anything online? You do. Now, is that because you're going to Walgreens or you're going to Kohl's?
Oh, this online shopping is more Amazon.
More
Yeah,
Amazon.
mine too. Mine, Amazon has a bunch of my cards.
Okay, well,
Some
so
are-
does my PayPal. But
Yeah.
my point is, don't put your credit card in directly. Use an indirect third party to do that because they're
Oh.
responsible.
PayPal, you mean?
PayPal's responsible. Amazon's responsible. You know, they have my cards on file. They're responsible to hold your wallet secure.
So Amazon has one?
Sure, I buy everything through Amazon. My kids know my password to
Okay.
Amazon. They've got their
Yeah.
debit cards on Amazon.
Yeah, okay, well,
You know, everybody's got an Amazon account, so.
yeah, I have my credit card there. My daughter has her credit card there.
You know, my
They've got old
business.
credit cards. I don't even know how to get the old credit cards off.
I
don't know
mean,
how to remove them.
before Capital One was before Capital One 360 was Capital One 360, it was called Orange. It was a non-brick and mortar bank in the cloud. You know, so I've heard about the cloud for the last 20 years. We've been dealing with what you guys now know as a cloud. We've been doing it forever because we've been accessing systems remotely to manage them. You know, we can't be everywhere at the same time. My point of that was, what was my point of that?
Amazon is safe.
Well, yeah, Amazon is safe and they have to maintain your wallet, ultimately. Now, one problem I run into is my credit card expires and they don't let you know. So it'd be nifty if there was some service out there that could tell you, hey, by the way, your credit cards are registered with all these different companies and you need to change your passwords on them. I just went through changing my, I was going to say my business account is through PayPal. So it's attached to my checking account, but again, it's through my PayPal account. The other thing was that it was just before I just told you. Anyhow, it'll come to me again.
Amazon did contact me when my credit card didn't go through. And it was because I had gotten a new card with a new expiration date. And so I then contacted them and then they changed the expiration date to the correct one and everything went through. So in my
But they
case,
called you.
yes.
Sometimes they don't call you. That's the problem. And I
Well,
don't know.
Well,
I mean,
if you order something and they can't get paid for it, of course, they'll have to contact you so that they want to know why can't they get the payment for it?
Yeah,
They
sometimes
called
they
you on
do,
the phone?
sometimes they don't.
No,
Amazon called,
it was by email.
okay, and see, that's the other thing. Sometimes I'm not sure if it's Amazon or not. That's the kicker, you know?
Well, I guess you'd have to go in and look. Like I've got a lot of my stuff I have to order, you know, and because we've got a shortage of semiconductors and all that stuff, I have to wait. Well, I've got this one order out there since November. And then I called and they said there was something wrong with it. So now I just placed the order. It took me a week to get them get it straightened out. One of the girls realized my credit card number was not current because it was in November, but now it's not. It expired last September or last November, or December or something like that. And it's been 6 months. So of course it expired. And when they tried to charge it again and I never got the product, but they bothered to let me know, no. So I had to call and find out what's going on. And you know, that takes a whole day sometimes. It's like
Yeah.
talking to the IRS. Might as well plan it the whole day. We all run into the same things. It's all frustrating. Anybody else got anything for me?
I wanted to say thank you.
You're very
Thank you.
welcome.
Thanks for
It's a
that.
pleasure to do this. I'd like to do it again for you. Like I said, we need topics. You know, I'd like to have, it was weird when we opened it up. I think I went to Emily, and I'll just share briefly with you what we found here. The survey said the number one question had 25 responses. 20 of you said, yeah, we'd like a Zoom thing. The second one was interesting. We had 49 responses, and 20 of those were about phones. 21% was Windows, 12% were iPads. Okay. So now when you say Windows, iPads, and phones, that could be anything, right? So that's why when I say specifics, let me know, okay, well, what kind of Windows issues are we having? Or what kind of phone issues are we having? Is it an email problem? Like today, we talked about security. That was a general topic that applies to everyone. And that's kind of like the way we want to keep this. It's something that would apply to everyone so that everybody would get something out of it. If you need one-on-one consultation, you know, we can make arrangements for that as well. That's not a problem. The third question, how did you guys want this? Now, this was fun. 54% of you said you wanted an open forum. Now, could you imagine how that would be if I had all 29 of you up there today asking questions at the same time? That wouldn't work. So that's why we try and limit it to one topic. And then we save it for the questions that we're talking about. So that way everybody knows we're trying to talk about the same thing. I don't know if we're gonna continue this, aren't we, Emily?
Yeah, so we're planning on doing the second Wednesday of every month at 1:30.
Is that, I mean, do you feel like that, guys, or too
Yes.
much, too little?
Yeah,
It
it's
would be
good.
very helpful.
I like it. It's helpful.
Okay,
That
good.
just yeah, it's good.
Okay. And I just wanted to let you know, out of all the responses, 8 say that you're below a 5 in competence level. 10 of you are at a 5. Now, I usually answer 5 on everything myself. You know what I mean? You're not going to answer, you know everything. You're not answering, don't know a thing. I know something, you know, so you answer 5, which is normal. But what I found was excellent. And I don't know if they're on today. We have 7 experts. I was wondering if they came on today. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today. I really tried to make it enjoyable for me and everybody else. I hope you learned something. That's most important. I want you to learn something. You know, and in future sessions, we're going to teach you how to learn for yourself and how to find these things and how to find out all these answers and make you more, let's say, aware and up with the times, because a lot of times nobody spells this stuff out to you. You know, and a lot of times I've been in this for so long, I figured it out. And like I said, I don't know how to do anything else. Yes, ma'am. Oh, Patrice went for a drink, I see. Yeah, you know, I mean, I don't know anything else. All I know is computers. I mean, I used to fix them, you know, then I build them for other people because they farm me out as an engineer. You know, they pay me an hourly wage, build this computer network for them of this kind. They tell me what equipment to use, and that's that. And we build it, you know, and then we move on to the next job. So that's why I've got a lot of experience touching a lot of equipment, and I know a lot of people's offices and what they look like and how they function. But with that along, you know, now with security, and I'm just reading that they're targeting the old people the most because you guys aren't up to speed with the Twitter and all the other other social profiling network things that you can get scammed and ripped off on. And you know what, frankly, don't bother with them. They change constantly, and you know, they're here one night and they're gone the next. Elon Musk just bought Twitter. How many of you are going to go back on Twitter? I have no idea. Are you even on Twitter?
No.
Right. See, that's what I'm saying. So it doesn't matter one way or another. Okay.
He said he's going to let Trump back onto Twitter.
That he did. You know, I'd be interesting to hear what Mr. Trump has to say after all this time.
Please.
I don't know. It'd just be interesting. Well, folks, I think we're going to wrap it up. what we got here? An hour and 17. Ooh, I didn't think it was going to go that long, but okay, we were having fun.
We were.
Great. Well, thank you everyone for coming, and I hope to see you next month. Thank you, Emily, and we'll talk soon.
Okay.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, the sun is very hot today.